Hey everyone, this is Mr. Everything, and in this video I wanted to do a unboxing and overview setup of how I'm going to try and attach my Uniden R3 radar detector to my rear view mirror. Now obviously I like to talk about the brand and stuff, but this is one of those ones that I don't even know how you say that, so I don't know what to say here. Type that in on Amazon if this ends up being a decent mount. They'll view it and buy it there. Obviously, when you think of rear view mirror mounts, it's like blend mounts to go to. I wouldn't mind, I mean, especially for as much as a quality radar detector costs, paying maybe $50, $60 for a good mount. But I think those blend mounts are well over 100, maybe 120, 150 or something. That's just more than I want to spend, so I'm going to try a cheaper solution first. The reason for my car, I really don't have a proper space on the top. I like to use the suction cups at the top of the windshield. I can't put my sunshade in then or put the visor back, it hits it. So I'm going to try this mount. There's a lot of imitations of the blend mount, but the problem with them is they're usually either just made out of plastic, and obviously when you tighten down plastic, then the heat, when you're probably well over 100 degrees in the hot sun, that plastic kind of gives and then the thing sags and slides down, and you have to keep tightening it and the plastic just cracks. So this one's supposed to be all aluminum. There's some things about it I like. Hopefully it has enough adjustability to work out. This was under $30. And I guess you got to put this whole thing together. I'm not going to show all of this because it's kind of a first time thing, so you just see me fooling around. I just want to show what you get, how it works, and then hopefully I can figure out how to assemble it in my car, get it the way I like, and then come back and just show the finished product. I think this thing actually has good reviews. There's a good bit of bad ones too, because they make this for multiple detectors, and one of which is I think the Escort 360, as half the hardware falls on the floor. So I just lost a little tiny screw or something. So we'll have to see what all out of this I actually need to use. But that Escort detector, I think that it uses a magnetic piece to mount or attach, and this one I think they say is aluminum, so it doesn't work. This is one of the main reasons why I bought this gun. It's all aluminum, but they put these little rubber O-rings, and that's really gonna make this a lot more stable. It'll probably also help some with vibration, but I like that you can tighten it here, and then I guess you can give it a finishing torque with your hex key, which I'm not even gonna worry about that. I'll just hand tighten it and go from there, and if it, I don't want to go crazy. And one more thing I'll mention is a lot of these, I think this is aluminum. It's very lightweight, but I hope it's not plastic. I think even the blend mount uses this style. And some people say that, it doesn't grip because, you're putting something round. So it comes down properly here, but then down here it's flat. That is kind of a weird thing. I don't know why a blend mount does it. Some of the cheaper ones, they do mirror this cutout here, which you would think would really hug that little cylinder part of your rear view mirror. But for this one, it's going to be flat, so I'm definitely going to wrap some electrical tape around it first, just so that, hopefully those teeth don't dig into it. And I should be able to mount, so I'll probably do a little something like that. I'm going to try and keep it nice and up on the detector and maybe kick it forward a little bit, which again, if this one, it might be a little bit harder to do, but I won't really know until I get into the car. And then they also say, like, you have these, I think, 1/4-inch threads that you can supposedly add other things to it, and again, you get a lot of extra hardware here. I guess that would just be for a mirror that's way thicker. So I'll just kind of visualize this and see if I even need to use anything. And then this is different. So that must be what those little screws are for. I'm not sure if there's a difference between the R3 and the R7, because I might consider getting a different radar detector here in the future. So I'll see if there's anything in the instructions. Otherwise, I'll just have to try and figure this out and come back, hopefully with it installed, and have a better view of how it works. So this should be about the finished product here. Now for me, I have a lot going on just because I have a rear view mirror dash cam that I attach to my regular rear view mirror just because this car doesn't have a backup camera. It's not too bad. You can see here, I'm pretty impressed with the mount. It's sturdy. What I was going for, you know, I don't like, even I think the blend mount has that real big knob, to where this one just has the little turning screw, almost like a wing nut on the other side. Not bad. So I'll probably have to go into the passenger side because obviously the mirror's aimed toward me. Not bad at all. Again, this is the R3. One thing I had to do, and I'm not going to fault the mount, is it would bounce up and down, which you can see it doesn't now. It still will go down a little bit. I think what it is, and I think it's my radar detector, is just the clip. If you can see here, this was from the windshield mount. This is an actual Uniden piece. I don't know if the inside just wears out, the plastic on the radar detector, but they're just a little bit of play with this whole bracket, and it was a little bit loose. So I put, which is kind of hard to get a good angle, but you can probably see there's like a little nub right here. I got one of those little foam bumpers and put it in there, so that way now there's no more vibration. So I'm not good, because there's basically no movement here. You know, this really isn't moving. And I don't even have it super tight. Now, it's not a hot sunny day out today. If I need to tighten it more, I will. I'm not going to over tighten it. I didn't over tighten the bracket up here. I don't like to over tighten things first time around. Again, it's not moving. If it would get a little loose, I'll snug it up some, but for first try, that might be all it'll take. I think you can get a better view of what's going on back here. I did actually have to exchange these threaded bolts for the longer ones. It's because I have the OnStar mirror, and again, this like cylinder piece is just a lot thicker on this car. And that's one thing I'll mention. It might be an advantage to having an OnStar mirror since they weigh so much. Yeah, I got the weight of this dash cam, the weight of this, and this thing's still really sturdy. I actually have an older Crown Victoria, and just putting a dash cam on it made the whole mirror come off the glass, and I can't get it back on no matter what. I've tried all the different, you know, glass metal bonding things to put that button back on. It just never holds. So I actually have to use a suction cup mount now, which isn't too bad because I can just bypass using a mirror altogether and just mount this dash cam. But just keep that in mind, depending on what vehicle, the more weight you put, and you want to, you know, when you're torquing stuff down, you don't want to pull too much on this. It might have just been because it was an older car, but you can see this one doesn't seem to have problems supporting the weight of all this at all. And again, it's not too bad. The problem with this car is to fit the factory location, which I liked it right here. You just couldn't close this the whole way it would hit. So what I'd have to do is kind of close my mirror like this to keep my sunshade in the window. So I would just always, and it would, you kind of slide around. Sometimes you'd still hit the mute button on this. So being down here, I think it's a lot better. So like I said, I think it's pretty sturdy. I don't see any movement. Again, putting that little bump stop there, that'll keep it from wanting to move any, take any vibration out. And I don't have any play up in the mirror itself. Yeah, I really like the look of it. I think that, you know, a blend mount kind of should be like this, just nice and compact. So the fact that they're able to make this with good materials and in a really small package, you don't get as much articulation because you just have 2 points of movement, but it's not too bad. And again, that's how I'm attached up here. And just to prove, I mean, it's pretty simple. I have the rear view camera and this. Obviously, that's just a refresh made, making it look all weird. And I'm just wiretapped into the rear view mirror. And it's a pretty nice setup. Now, if I upgrade to the R7 or R8, I might have just to move around how I have it, but I think it'll still work just fine. I don't see any issues. Obviously, I'll have to come back if it would, start to sag or fail under heat or something, but I really don't see it. I think a lot of the stuff that it came with, it's just extra pieces. One last thing I can say is just taking this thing on and off so many times just to test fit it. These screws came out just a wee little bit, and this thing would play from side to side just a little bit. These screw heads are so, if I can get focused, they're so small, it's just, you feel like you're going to strip them. And on top of that, they don't tighten that much anyway. So if you would have a problem, you might just have to put a little bit of dab of glue. Those screws are just so short that I don't even think you can get Loctite on them. It probably wouldn't even help anyway. If you know you're never going to change this plate out, like you're never going to put a different style of radar detector. Yeah, I'm not even sure why they gave 2 plates. I almost thought I read somewhere that the R7 used a different mount or clip than the R3, but I'm not sure if that's true or not. That could be why, but someone that's had both could tell me. And that'll be fine for this car, because again, my other car, it's up here. It doesn't impede if the visors or anything, just because I have a lot more real estate. But for in a smaller car like this, and it's not too bad in the in my peripheral vision or anything, it's really not blocking anything. Now, one last thing I can say is it kind of does block these buttons up here, but you get access to your mute pretty easily, and you can reach back to hit the release button. But these are a little hard, but it's kind of something I've never really messed with. Once you set these things up, you don't have to do too much, and then all you'd have to do is just take it off the mount, and you could adjust some settings if you really needed to. So I know I kind of went in depth, but I'm sure there's someone out there that's just as picky as me. So that's all the things I had to do, and my few little concerns and everything, and a few little mods I had to do. But not bad, especially compared to what you'd have to pay for a blend mount or something. So definitely give this brand a look and see if it'll work out for you. I think the build quality is pretty good. It did exactly what I needed it to. So if it doesn't sag or fall apart, then it's well worth the sub $30 price tag. So hopefully that was helpful. Thanks for watching, and you'll see me in the next one. Have a good one.